This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, good morning, team. Able to hear us?
Yes, we can able to
Hello.
hear.
Can be a little loud.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So we have the offline class as well. So I will be a little loud. So let me know if you have any questions, right? So just ping me in the chat. Okay.
Okay,
Thanks,
sure.
team. Yeah. Yeah. Good morning, team. Yeah. Myself, Nagarjuna Mallampalli. Okay. I was working in IT from last 15 years. Okay. I have a experience in DevOps from last 6 years. The career starting of DevOps. Okay. So DevOps was started from last 5 years. Only. So it's not a technology or a tool. Okay. So DevOps is a culture. Okay. So DevOps is a culture. Okay. Previously, before 5 years, right? So DevOps is something like dev and operations. Like it's a DevOps is nothing but a dev team and operation teams, the combined part of dev. Okay. So combined together is a DevOps team. Okay. Going back to the DevOps. Okay. So DevOps is a combination of dev and operations and QA. Okay. QA, right? Testing team. So they are together working in a culture called a DevOps. For implementing the DevOps, they have a particular tools. Actually. DevOps, it can be any tool. Okay. So to implement DevOps, oh, sorry. So I was covering online as well. So it will be very hard to them. So you can come and sit. So if I little loud, right? So it will be hard to online people. Okay. If you can not hear, you can just come friend. So thanks, officer. Yeah, team like in online, right? Even if you could not able to hear us, right? Let me know. So yeah.
Hi Nagaraj, can you maximize the screen, please?
Okay, 1 second. Yeah. 1 second. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll maximize that. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Moving back, right? I'm just talking about tools, right? DevOps tools. Okay. DevOps has a so to implement DevOps, there's a number of tools. Okay. Based on the organizations or companies, right? So it depends upon the what are the organizations they use. Okay. Most probably, right? So I'll tell you the most big companies, right? So like most of them, like Google, even Google also adopts the DevOps. Amazon, okay. So even Amazon is a part of their own cloud. They have to be using the same technologies, right? Same tools as well. So coming to that, most probably, right? So first tool is like a source control management, right? That is SCM. Okay. So we have a number of tools. Okay. GitHub, GitLab. Okay. Like we have an other tools. Okay. Coming back to that, the Jenkins is most reliable tool where all the organizations will commonly use. Okay. Jenkins is the where we configure all end-to-end configurations. Jenkins is the centralized system for all the DevOps tools. Okay. So if you want to integrate with Git, if you want to integrate with Ansible, Chef, Puppet, or else if you want to integrate with cloud formation templates in AWS or Terraforms. Okay. Okay. So okay. Okay. Let me stop here and let me know how you want to proceed with the classes, right? So yeah, online as well, right? So if you have any queries, let's just let me know, because I don't want to make it more theoretical. So I just want to show all the practicals, because as a working session, right? How many carries laptop here? Okay, that means the working session should always have the laptop. Okay, or else some because right, this is not a theoretical class. This is a real-time workshop or working session, right? Let example, if you think you are into an organization and you got your credentials to work on. Okay, so let assume this is a working session or a knowledge transfer or a KT session. Okay, so as you enter an organization, and let's start thinking. So I'm today I got a task and start working on the things. Okay, let assume that, because you should feel that. Okay, the workshop should be always like a working session. Just I didn't want to make it as a theoretical, or so we already have like I think how many people has done the DevOps training? Yeah, I think because this is all if you're already done with the DevOps or some with cloud, right? Then you try to understand things, or you can memorize the things what you have learned, right? So you can cross compare the things. Either case, it will be very hard. So I can say that what are the things I can make the working session, but you cannot rely on this actually. Okay. Okay, so we already have the DevOps sessions also we'll be conducting in our career IT. So with the cloud, we have multiple clouds, DevOps with AWS, DevOps with Azure, and DevOps with some other development technologies as well. So you guys can join and things, then we can have a working session, or you can have a working session, but you can just only think what I'm working, right? So okay, let's have your queries actually. Do you have any queries? How we can start up? What you want to show me first actually? Okay, Jenkins pipeline, right? End-to-end pipeline, CI/CD. Okay. Anything? Okay, maybe I think you guys very new to this, right? So I'll start up with the things. So okay, the real-time projects are real-time things, right? So I'll try to show up the things in this couple of sessions we have tomorrow as well. So I'll try to show you the DevOps project, how it will be, and how we will set up the project, and from the scratch. creating a GitHub account, putting the project there, okay, and making the build process, right? So build the DevOps life cycle, okay, and understanding the high complex of CI/CD, how we move that, and mastering your automation skills. Mostly automation skills are like um, okay, automation skills like how you logically write the program, and okay, using the cutting edge technologies like something Ansible, and how the industry standards, right? Like let example the top 5 companies, right? So usually what the technologies will be used, okay, and real time scenarios to gain the confidence. Let example I told, right? So you will be part of into an organizations and you start working on the things, okay, and presenting and gaining confidence in the DevOps skills, and coming back to the last one, the containerization. The containerization, right, in the Docker and Kubernetes, and all the things will be done in the cloud. Okay, that is will be AWS. How many of the team knows Git actually? GitHub. Okay. So moving back to the tools, right? So I'll start showing all the things. So Git is a source control repository. Okay. So example, okay, let's have in my organization or my team. Let assume that I have a project. I have 10 people working on the code. Okay. So let assume that. So you should not think as a DevOps engineer, you always think half part of development and half part of our operations. Okay. So either you are be a DevOps engineer, so you should not require a few what I can say, not a full development, okay, but you just need to know what is happening in the development. Now in the life cycle of DevOps, so these are different types of methodologies will be used. Agile methodology. Previously we have waterfall and all together, but now there's no case of waterfalls and all together. So it is a agile methodology. Agile methodology, right? In that, so whenever you get a task, you'll write a stories and you'll assign the task. And usually all the organizations will be using a Jira. So you'll start creating a ticket in Jira, and it will be assigning to you, and you'll start working on your assignments. Okay. Okay. Coming back to that, so I'll try to show you the Git. Okay. In the DevOps tool, right? Majorly, okay. Let's let me stop if you doesn't understand things. Maybe I can clarify that. Okay, I'm not proficient of training. Okay, so I'm in the more of working sessions. So maybe I will be a little fast or something, but you just need to stop me where I'm there. Okay. Okay. To start getting the working sessions, right? We will use all the okay. Okay. We'll use all the open source technologies where we can create our own accounts and start using this. Okay. So you guys want to go to GitHub. Okay. GitHub and you can register your own free account there. Okay. And so once you created your account, and you'll end up here. Okay. So one second, just minimize this. Okay, fine. So okay, okay. I'll try to show you. Just create our free account in the GitHub. Okay. So just sign up here and just get your free account created here. Once you get the free account, you can just sign into this, and you can create an unlimited repositories. Okay. So while you create the project or repository, right? We call it as a repository or a project. It depends upon the terminology we use. Okay. So you just can create a new repository. Just you name the project. Okay. Okay. You just put a career IT workshop. Okay. Just I'm putting this creating the project. Okay. we have an options. Okay, you can put a description of the project is an option, and there's a public or private repository. So you can choose it. Okay, so if you want to expose your report to open, you can put a public, or else you can put a private. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, you just create a repo. So once you create a repo, so this is the empty repo. Okay, so if you want to use this repo, or if you want to add all these things, right? These are the basic commands arguments. Okay. So if you go to a real, so I'll just start one AWS engine and start using this. Did anyone done any cloud? No? Okay. Anyone tried in cloud? Okay, AWS. Okay. So you know, right? What is the instance and all together? Okay. So a little background on this cloud. Okay. So okay. Now DevOps with cloud is the booming whatever profiles we okay. DevOps either we can implement on the on-prem. Okay, so I'll make some few terminologies. If you don't understand, let make me clear. Okay, on-prem is something like a physical data center existed in an area we call as an on-prem. Okay, so in a data center, or else we can call it physical servers. Okay, we can implement in the physical servers or in the cloud. Okay, but now the generations are moving on. Everything is on cloud. Okay, there is no physical data center existed. Okay, and even bigger organizations, they doesn't want to invest into a physical missions. Okay, because they want to build up a real estate. Okay, real estate is something like they want to build up an infrastructure. Okay, and they want to provide all the other things. Okay, instead of example they want to recruit one or we want to buy a space where we have other generators, ACs, and all together, some other facilities, right? Instead of buying all this and maintaining into their own, all the organizations of they are moving into cloud, because as a cloud, we had a big providers like AWS, Azure by Microsoft. Okay, Google also providing the cloud, Oracle also providing the cloud. So what is the advantages of moving to cloud? So let's example, right? Okay, so I want to buy something, right? So let's example, I want to buy a sweets like a laddu or something. Okay, so what I do, right? I go to a sweet shop and I can buy that. Okay, instead of that, I cannot buy basin and all together, and I cannot make the laddu, right? Instead of making a laddu, just I can go and buy the service simply by paying some amount. So what saves it? It saves the time and it saves my energy as well. But coming to money, it is a worthable, right? So instead of wasting my time and things, right? That is what. So investing on the time into a cloud. Now cloud is a worthable thing. Okay, instead of maintaining all this infrastructure, real estate, and all together, right? The cloud is a better options. So, and what is the advantage of it, right? Instead of, let example, you have taken a physical mission. If you're not using the amount of what you bought, example, if you bought a 10 GB of RAM, if you're not using about, but on-prem will charge about 10 GB, even though you're not using the 10 GB of RAM. Whereas cloud, pay as go. Okay, so you can buy 10 GB. What amount of space you're using, you will pay only that amount of money. Okay, for example, if you bought a 10 GB and if you're using only 4 GB for this month, so you will be charged for only the 4 GB. Example, I'm just saying a basic thing. Okay, that is what the advantage in the cloud. So moving to that, AWS. Okay, in the cloud, 100%. Let example, 100% of market. AWS cloud has been a 60 to 70% of market. Azure is into 30%. Google is worthable, but actually the challenges in Google or other thing is it's recently into a market. Okay, even Google is using their own clouds, but they're recently into market, and very few trained people are there in the Google. Okay, so because of that, maybe organizations have put as a backup options. Example, every organization will have two clouds. One will be primary and other will be secondary. Example, they cannot rely on the one cloud. In case of any challenges or any outages happen in the cloud, they will always depend on the other cloud. So usually Amazon will be the primary cloud to them, and they are secondly thinking of Azure. Now Azure is market grabbing, so Azure is also moving very quickly because Azure also making very user friendly and all together. Okay, this is what a little background on the cloud. So always DevOps with cloud is the major impact. Okay, what we can say, right? DevOps tools and all together will be, or else we can say, well utilized in the cloud. Okay, so coming back to this, I'll compare the things with the other clouds as well. In Azure, we called instance as VM. I think you will not be related because you will go on once you have to be done with the training, it will be very helpful to you. Okay, maybe once we started a real-time working session, just it will be helpful to us. In Azure, we called as a VM, where in AWS we called as an instance. Okay, so one physical instance where if you want to get a demo, right? So this is where we. Okay, to connect to instance, every instance will have their own physical ID. Okay, so just I took this. Let me stop if you are not able to follow me because I already added the key pairs. So if someone has already done AWS training or something, they will know what is a key pairs. Okay, to connect a server, usually we will have two types of things. Okay, one will be the credentials and other will be the key pairs. AWS will have their own private key pair for each instance, and it will publish the public key pair to us. So example, like we have a secret ports, a public key pairs is something like a secret ports. Okay, I had some secret code. So if you want to talk to me, you want to know what is the secret code I have. Okay, so the same thing. So each instance, either we can connect with the credentials or else with the key pairs. So I already included all these things. So just okay, instances came there. You're able to see, right? Let me know if. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I'll be maximizing it. So let's see.
Sir, they need to maximize in their own system, sir. They need to scrum. There is one like a line right on top of the screen. They should move up. Then only it will come maximize.
I didn't get you. Can you repeat again?
You can't able to maximize, I think, sir. I think you have already done the maximization.
Okay,
so
okay, yeah. I think, yeah.
Watching, they need to do that.
Okay, okay, yeah. Team, I think this is what I can give you a maximum, but let me okay, in increase of font size, let us see that. Where is that? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I switch into root user. Okay. Moreover, so a little background on DevOps. Okay. Mostly DevOps or cloud, everything in the organizations, right? It will be in Linux or Solaris. Okay. Solaris is now wind off. Okay. Mostly into Linux. Very 10% of the servers will be in the Windows. Okay. So you have to be a little background on Linux as well. While you're starting with the DevOps, maybe in the DevOps training, we'll have the Linux basics as well. Okay. But what is a root? Did anyone know what is the root user and other users? As in the Linux background, you'll get to know. A root user is a super user where we have all the privileges. Okay. So usually to make as I use into an organization, so you will not have any root access. Okay, only the system admins will have the root access. Okay, but as of now is a training session, so I'm trying to show off this. Okay, this is once you logged in as a root, you can do any operation, but while you log in as a root, you should be more careful because root can delete anything and everything. Okay, to make it clear, right? So just be careful while you're in root. Okay, okay. So I'm getting into this root user. Okay, once I log in into session, so I'll make this some folder. So okay, some basic Linux commands as well. So I need to find where I'm in. Okay, so there's a pwd, there's a present working directory. So you just see that, and I'll make a directory, career IT or something. Okay, I'll make it demo. Okay, so I'm into demo. Okay, so usually we require some client. Okay, Git client. So to download any project, right? So I already installed all the Git clients here. So just you want to get this, right? So this is a clone option. Okay, so what is the clone option is something if you want to download any project, right? So you need just to use the clone option. Okay, so this is empty project. I'll tell you about all the empty project later. So what I will do, right? So my requirement is today is to get locally copy my Git project. We have different projects here. Okay, this is a Spring Boot test is one of the project. Okay, what I'll do, right? I'll download this project and do some changes in this project, and I'll do the commit. Okay, let example. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. Okay, so what I'm trying to show, this is a working session. Okay, I'm assuming that you all has done the training, and okay, no, I'm giving you the overview. Okay, but if you doesn't understand also, but let relate these things. But after you get the time, you will get it. Okay, so I'm here to explain the real time. Okay, real time. In fact, let's assume that I already told, right? You are into an organization, and you have been assigned to a project. Okay, and once you are assigned to a project, you will have a daily task. Okay, so as a DevOps engineer, once you get into an organization, what task or what roles or what you will be performing. So I'm trying to show you. I'm making you comfort. So once you get into organization, you should not be not new to all these technologies. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. So okay, I told right initially DevOps tools, right? Tools will help you, the organization or the people to make work their comfort levels. Okay. So this is all we called either DevOps tools or automation tools. Okay. Automation tools, right? So what is automation tools? Instead of doing a physical work manually, routine things, right? We will make all the steps into some format or functions. Okay. And we use that executive functions, make them your work free. Okay. So what we can say, a real-time example, right? So now we have an automate lights on or sensor lights on, right? What is the advantage of that? So once you enter the room, based on your presence of existence, sensor will automatically detect you and will automatically turn on the lights. What that means, that is an automated way, right? So that you help me to not get into room and such where the switchboard is, and automatically you have to switch there, right? Instead of this all, we have saved some time, and also that help you to walk freely into room, right? In that way, organizations will have some predefined roles to be done by daily. We call as a daily task or daily routines. Okay, instead of doing all these daily routines, you know what need to be done manually. Instead of even you exist or doesn't matter. Okay, so you write all the automation jobs and make schedule it into a cron. Okay, so maybe into a more technical, but that's what I'm saying. So how many people has done the training? That's what I want to make sure initially, right? Because what I'm saying, you should not rely, but once you have run the training, you will be basically getting idea. Okay, and coming back to this tool, what this tool help you, right? So this is a Git. Okay, uh, we have different types of source control management. Okay, what is the source control management? Let's assume that I have a team. I have a 5 developers working on that. So let example. Okay, I'll make a simple example. So you have a 5 team members. So you work on a different line of code. Another team member work on a different line of code. but other team members, what you are working, you don't know, right? As you know what you are working on. So how you correlated with other employees, like how you will consolidate all the code into a single point? It will be very hard, right? You cannot go to them and ask what you have done, and I have done some code, and ask them to give your code, and you combine that, and you cannot send it, right? You are getting right what I'm saying? Physically, you cannot talk all the members. If it is a geo-directional, like if it is other location, example, if it is a other working guy will be in the onshore, okay, US. So you cannot coordinate them. To make them free, this is source control management. What it will help, right? All the code will be in a centralized repository. This is what we call a repository. Okay, we will have this code. Once you join an organization, you have to check in this code into your local box. That's what I'm trying to show you all this. Okay, once you get this down, okay, you have to do your changes and commit back to this branch. Okay, like n number of people will do their commits into this branch. So ultimately at the end of the day, we'll have the consolidated code here. So this Git will help you to make your job freely. Okay, but maybe if you doesn't get it also, you just ask me, just I'll explain again. Okay, so okay, this is a server where we also save our code. Okay, the GitHub will be our server. Okay, this Git will be the client where we will download the code. Okay, this is a command called clone, git clone. Just you copy this server thing. Okay, and you have to specify the branch, which branch you want to do the which branch you want to get this. Okay, just so I told you, right, once you create a GitLab account, okay, you'll create your credentials all together, and moreover, right, GitHub is not accepting that password to enter to download the code or commit. Okay, instead of that, you have to create your token. Okay, go to developer settings. Okay, personal access here, and just you create a new token here. Okay, so I'll make it as a workshop. So I'll give whatever access for this token you just need to give. Just I can give it. Okay, and just I'll create the token. So just make sure this token you just paste it somewhere so that it will help you to download or check in the code. Okay, just you got the token here. So I'm coming back to the system. Okay, so I'm downloading the code here. So what I'm doing, right, Git is a client where I'm and the other command is clone, where I'm cloning this, and each repository will have a different branches. I think who already done the Git, right? Each repo, or we will have a multiple branches. Okay, so usually we'll have main, master. Example, why these branches are all required, right? So okay, to coming back, this is a big history, so I'll make you the thing. Master branch will have the latest code always. Okay, and master branch will be we called as a stable code. Okay, example, so a number of people can work on different codes. Okay, or different features. For example, I have a 5 development team members working in my team. Each will have their own assignment task. Okay, so once any member came in, right, he will took the code from the master into local repository. So just I'm trying to, so I just downloaded my code into my local box. Okay, so I have this. Okay, okay, you can see, right, you can see, right, this it was been downloaded. Okay, and I can see the code whatever I have it here. Okay, this is just a Spring Boot application where it have the source code of Java. Along with that, I have few files where using Docker. Maybe I'll be telling in the past, like maybe how to use Docker and how to use the Jenkins files and all together. Okay, all these things. Okay, let me stop and have a queries here. Do you have any queries?
Change in the code. Then, for example, if I uploaded the code, what I have done, and say next person uploaded, then my both the changes will be made, right? Yeah, you have. Yeah, I'll tell this. Okay, yeah, I'll take this query, but I'll explain it later. Okay, so once you have done this all this, right? So you just check out the code, okay, into your local repository. And the basic rule is that before you doing the check-in this, you have to commit. Okay, we have a different terminologies, but let's try to get it once you understand, once you get into the project. Okay? Commit or check-in. Okay, if you're trying to commit the code, okay, the basic rule is you have to check out the code again, because a minute before someone can already check it in. Okay, so you just try to get this check out. Okay, so I'll not show you all these comments, but because if I took the Git right, it will take 1 day for me to close it, because Git is a primary thing here. So I'll do some basic changes and I'll do the commitment. Okay. 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 So what I'm trying to do, right? There's a README file, right? So I'm trying to do some changes in the README. Okay. Okay. I'll try to show you real-time changes. Okay. 1 second. Okay. I saved this code. Okay. Moving to this. This is what. Okay. I'll move to main branch. This is what I'm trying to do the changes. So in the server, right? This is a README file. Okay. So if you can see, right? There's nothing there. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. After this chart example, there's nothing there, right? So I have written some code there, and now I'll try to commit the things. Okay. And you can you can see the changes. Okay, if you want to see if you add anything, you can add what are the changes, you can add it. Okay, git add is a command. You can do that file name alone, or else I'll put a dot, so it will make all the changes. Okay, and I'll do the git commit. Okay, and M will help you to write the comments. Okay, what the changes are. What changes I made is workshop date. Okay, I made it as a workshop date. Okay, so I do the commit. Okay, sorry. Okay, so you can see, right? So the one file has changed and 4 inserts have happened. Okay, and then I'll push this into. So I'll explain this command. Okay, till that you got it right. What I'm trying to do, git add. Okay, I added whatever changes I added, and I made that commit with the message. Okay, with the message whatever the workshop date, and now I'm trying to push it to git push origin. Right, origin is something what you are in. It is called as an origin. Okay, where you are current there, it is an origin. Okay, and what branch you want to push, you want to mention that. Okay, I want to push it into main branch. Okay, just you have to put the credentials again. So this changes have been committed here. Okay, if you want to see that, you can see this changes here. Today. Okay, you see the changes, right? So whatever changes I done locally, I published the changes into the centralized repo. Okay, just what I'm trying to do here, this is not usually we do it, but the development teams usually will check in the code and will do hundreds of codes and hundreds of files together. Okay, but what I'm trying to show you how to use the git and basic things, right? So git command, let example, as a DevOps engineer, all the Ansible playbooks will be there in the git repository. Usually what you do, right, you either download the Eclipse tool, or else we can directly download as what I showed here, right? You can download it into a local repository and using the tools, right? Just 1 second.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Okay. I'm moving on. So let me know anything. Are you able to get what are you able to follow me, right?
Yes.
Okay. What I'm trying to do. Okay.
Sir, did,
Git, right? So just the
sir,
basic example, but example, if you are downloading the Ansible playbooks are all together, right? This example I'll tell you. Okay. Yeah, this is what the basic Ansible deployment script. Okay. So example, if you want to add some more code here, right? You do the changes and try to commit this and execute using the centralized tool called Jenkins. We have a number of commands in Git actually. So based on your requirement, you'll start using that. Okay. You have to migrate from one branch to other branch. Okay. You Git pull also is there. Okay. If you get pull, right, so it will Git pull will help you if there is simultaneous if any other developer has also committed, right, it will pull the thing and it will merge into your local code. Okay, and there's nothing to pull because there's no other developer is committing anything, right, except me. So it is saying already up to date. Okay, so if some other developer already committed, right, before committing I have to do this. I told, right, initially the basic rule will be pull. Okay, so I just need to pull the thing. Okay, and once pull the thing, it will be integrating the other things, and then we will try to commit the things. Okay, any queries on Git? You want to move on
I
any
have a doubt.
example?
This Satya here. I have.
These are basic commands only. Git actually it's nothing much more, but the commands, right? You just need to rememberize. Okay, so it doesn't require to rememberize the syntax, but at least what is the functions. Okay, so what mean by git add? Okay, okay, push. Okay, just I'm putting different commands together, but I'm okay, push, pull. Okay, commit. Okay, if you want to recall this, also we have an option. Okay. Okay, we have a number of else. Okay, and also if you forget the syntax, right, Linux is a good example. It will try to help you. Okay, okay, merge is something if you want to migrate from one branch to other branch. Okay, example, I have two branches here. One is a main and other is a master. Okay, if you want to merge the branch with main with master, the command merge will help. Okay, I'll just make you the things. Okay, fetch is also another command where you can download the things. Okay, fetch and pull, the things are almost same, but based on your requirement you'll start using this. Okay, you already seen the push, right? Pull you already see, right? Fetch is also the same thing. um, Tags, right? Tags will help you to identify the objects clearly. Example, so you should create a tag here. It will help you to identify this tag or something. Example, okay, let's go to an agile technology. We'll have a sprint. How many know what is a sprint actually? Sprint is a cycle. Yeah, sorry guys. Moving on actually. Uh, I think who already not done this training, maybe it will be a little boring to you, but try to relate the thing, because if you are interested into a DevOps, right? DevOps is a merging technology. Okay, so that example. Okay, because if you're not thing, right, what I can say, right, it's like a .NET and Java. Okay, a few years back, right, if anyone maybe, right, who has done .NET or Java, it's what they're trying to do is they have a number of opportunities to join into an organization. So usually they have done .NET or Java, so that there are multiple opportunities. Okay, as the technology is moving on, now it's the best thing is the DevOps. Okay, the DevOps we have a number of limited. Okay, because so we are in the evolution. Okay, now all the softwares came into picture. Now it has their end of license. So better to moving from on-prem to cloud. All the organizations is the right time to moving the cloud. Okay. So next 5 years, all the things will be in the DevOps, because it's a time where all the organizations were rethinking moving to on-prem to cloud. Okay. In the next 5 years, all the applications in the on-prem will be moving to cloud. For moving to the cloud, one thing is you have to know about cloud, and migration is not a simple part. Okay, just it's not a piece of code to put it into some on-prem to cloud. So with that, moving from on-prem to cloud, we have the tools like that is the DevOps tools which help you to migrate easily. Okay, so I didn't want to name my organization, but in my organization currently we can say hundreds of people is working in this project. Okay, not in a DevOps, altogether like a migration. This is a migration project. Okay, so thousands of applications they are migrating from on-prem to cloud, because what they think is the real estate, or what I told you, real estate infrastructure cost is too high, and the cloud is providing a more features. Just it has a DR activity. How many know DR? DR, right? DR. So I'm making more IT specific. DR is a disaster recovery. Example. Let's put an example in US. Okay, some what we have iPhone, right? Let's have an iPhone an example. Okay, or Mac. So Mac or iPhone is a provider where all the organization existed in onshore. Okay, that is the US. Okay, that example they have their own cloud in Amazon itself. Okay, and Amazon will provide it two reasons for them. Okay, they can take three their wish. Okay, either east and west. Okay, the cloud will always divide it into multiple regions, east and west. East will be in California and west will be in the Oregon. Example, if California has some earthquake or a climatic disaster. Okay, if that is the case, what happened, right? The data center will be shutting down. In east data center is shutting down, automatically the west data center will be taking the traffic and it serve the peoples, and will have a node zero time. We call it as ZDD. Okay, zero downtime, zero time down to the customer. Ultimately, not in India but US, for every minute if you get downtime to the customer, you have to minus some amount of fee you are paying back. Example, if you are taking the iPhone services, okay, iPhone cloud or something, if you want to store the data of your mobile photos into iPhone cloud, okay, at the time of iPhone cloud has some DR activity, or some disaster happen, and if you're not able to put into your photos into cloud, and the customer will see you the company. Okay, so because he has a downtime for particular time, for particular downtime, example, if he is paying a cloud amount of monthly $30 per month, so as a downtime happen for 4 minutes, he will cut down that $30 into 4 cents. Okay, so he'll only charge for $26. So every rupee, whatever we paying as a customer to a company, that will be very valuable. That's what we, right? We want to work to make these organizations all stable and productivity. That's what they will charge you an amount of good amount of salaries. Why they are charging you an amount of salaries? Because, right, you will make this organization as productive, and they'll have a no downtime to the customer. Ultimately, our stakeholders will be the customer or end user. So you ultimately you have to satisfy the customer so that the company will be gaining some profit. As that you will get amount of performing salaries to you. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Yep. Calls doesn't matter actually. So okay, I'll tell you the industrial life cycle. Okay. Okay. There's two types of companies in the entire world. Okay. One is service-based company and other is a product-based company. Okay, I'll list some examples. Okay, product-based companies are like Google, okay, JP Morgan, Verizon, Amazon, okay, and something, okay, and service-based companies. Okay, service-based companies are something TCS, Wipro, Infosys altogether. Okay, okay. So year end, okay, why the calls will low also I'll tell you. Okay, so for all product-based companies, year starts with January to December. Okay, after December we'll get the ratings and we'll get the hikes. Okay, whenever they're getting the low hikes or whenever they're getting the new projects. Okay, so from January all the product-based companies, all the new projects will start. Okay, hiring will start from January to next February, April. Okay, till April. Okay, this is the what we do. Okay, and for service-based companies, every year end starts with April to April. That is Indian-based companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro. So what is our academic year? April to April, right? April to March. So usually April to March will be the academic year. From April, the new projects will be starting, or new renewals will be starting, or new contracts. Let example, Google. Okay, let example Google. Okay, Google is outsourcing some project to some TCS. Okay, so in that, based on this Indian academic year, they will plan it from April to March. So they will give you first every product-based companies will not give you a lifelong projects. Okay, so they will renewal every 3 years or 2 years, or minimum 2 years of project. Okay, so for March, okay, if TCS is performing good with the last 2 years, okay, what they will do is they will continue the things. If they're not doing well, they will give you to other vendor. Okay, like TCS, they will pay this project to Infosys. They will move away from TCS to Infosys. Okay, in that case, so TCS doesn't want to lose their resources. Okay, so they will stay back. Okay, usually this is a very hard time to get this, but after a month you will start it. Okay, all the openings will be starting after the month, because this is the time where all the renewals contracts and all the things will be closing down till, okay, April, June, July. Okay, this year is a little late. Okay, academic year is a little late because of COVID and all other situations. So now all the contracts are being closed now. Okay, now they will be start recruiting the people. From till October we'll have a huge demand. Okay, because all the big companies, right, TCS, Infosys, and all that. And one more thing in between, right, from April to June or sometime they will start recruiting campus. Okay, and they start recruiting the campus and recruit one thing. Okay, to recruit you, there should be some recruiter, right? So they will initially busy with the campus interviews and initial dealings with the customers. Okay, with the dealing with the clients. Okay, like that. So whatever people recruiting you, right, he's a technical guy. Always work with the code of estimation. For example, you want to write 100 lines of code. Okay, 100 lines of code. How many developers you have to require? You have to all estimate the thing, and you have to submit to the client with some amount of FTEs. We call it as a full-time employees. Okay, all these things they have to be discussed and all that. Now in the time of June, July, all the deals will be closing up. From now we'll start the recruiting till sometime of September to December. Okay, so sorry, September to October, and then again it will be again some lag period. So there will be some lag because so they want to settle back how the people are working. Okay, example, I recruit you as an example. Okay, so you have to be assigned into a project, and you started working on it. I feel that your workload is high. Okay, so what I need is I need an extra hand. So I'll start thinking of that. So I'll start recruiting again based on the workloads and based on the project also. Initially we'll have that. Okay, but DevOps is something, right? DevOps will not end it actually. Example, right? One thing also we have a disadvantage. Who are manually working, they will be no longer live. So once you recruit it, it will be hard to be manual execution people. So that DevOps will make you example, if you are working the manual task for 8 hours, DevOps will make you work for 6 hours or 4 hours. It will close it. Okay, but you still remain in the manual. That will be hard for you to have a longer life in the IT. Okay, so any queries? Hmm. That depends upon the things actually. That's what, right? Market. Okay, and now IT has been slowed down from the last couple of months actually in US. Okay. Focus on pipeline and task. Yeah, and okay, let me tell a simple example. Okay, because of Russia and Ukraine, Infosys has shut down their branch in Russia. Okay, how much business has lost by Infosys? Okay, example. Okay, but that doesn't matter. Infosys is not mattering of money or something. Okay, they think the Russia is not doing good on Ukraine. Okay, because of that, they stopped their organizations in the Russia, and huge people lost their business or money or jobs or something. Okay, but actually, few organizations need to stand up on their words for some time. For that, market will be slowed down. Okay, but it doesn't mean that you will not get an opportunity, but the things will change. Okay, and from last couple of months, inflation is very high in US and even more in other Canada and Australia. Inflation, you know what is inflation, right? So the demand of basic needs and all together. And one more thing, right? Why? So just as outside of this matter, but I'm trying to making you more confident. Okay. So, why our cooking oil is more high now? How many people know? All the cooking oil, sunflower oil, groundnut oil. Why it is very high now? No, only Ukraine. Okay. So okay, we are getting mostly from Ukraine. Okay, Russia also some part of, but Ukraine. Okay, they have stopped their productivity, and that affected here. Okay, that is what we're so because of cooking oil, some other snacks and whatever we buy outside things, right? All that will be almost that start inflation here, and it will end into all the ways. Okay, in IT on other ways also it will end up. Okay, so let example the cooking oil exporting and downloading it requires some software, right? It always that business will also slow down. Okay, that impacts into multiple factors. Because of war, some other factors will also come into picture. But as an IT, we have an advantage to it where we can work everywhere. Okay, so it doesn't matter you have to come and work in office or something. Okay, so that only the advantage we have it when compared to other organizations. Making you right, even let example, even if you give me a recession, it doesn't matter, you will not lose all your jobs or you will not get any job opportunity, but the percentage of market example, right? Let me tell an example. If I'm working to an organization right now, I resign and I put my papers, I will get 100% hike now. Okay, just an example I'm saying it. Okay, but doesn't mean that there's no opportunities, but there's an opportunities based on your skill tag. Okay, and there will be some gap will be there. Example, something so companies want to rethink or retrain the employees which is not performing well. They will give some time to an employees to regain their skills. In that time they will start recruiting for some time. If they're not regaining the skills, they will start recruiting again, because they doesn't want to have the non-performing employee into their organizations and they cannot run their business. Ultimately they want a new guy who is having some good technology skills or confidence. If you are a fresher, they will see the three things. Okay, one is confident, willingness to work, flexibility. Okay. Okay, sorry, maybe out of this topic. So any queries on this? But definitely it doesn't matter. Okay, so even okay, frankly speaking, I'm also recruiting someone, but in a different organization. But I never see any difference. But there's a difference in the requirement. Okay. Example, I work in multiple projects. Okay, more than 30-40 applications I will work on. In that, I have an opportunity where 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus. Okay, sometime. Okay. So based on them, I will recruit. Okay, it doesn't matter. But I always doesn't require a fresher as well. Okay, depends upon the project which I got it, and the skill set what I require, right? Because with the 4 years experience, I can take a 4 freshers, but I cannot run the project with the 4 freshers. Okay, so experienced people is matter. At the same time, freshers also matter. Freshers will help you to do some push up. Okay, but experienced guy will lead the team. Okay, definitely experience is experience and pressure is also pressure. Okay, so we have to balance the team. Okay, if you have a full experience employees also, there is no use of okay, they will have internal cold wars and all the fightings will be happening there. Okay, so you have to balance with the both experience and well freshers and well with the project management as well. Okay, we have a project management. where we will take all the inputs from the client and together, and we convey the message to the technical people where they can execute the projects. Okay, so I think we'll move back. Okay, yeah, yeah. So what I'm saying, okay, Git, right? So you get the Git, right? So I'll move little fast here from here. So you got what is Git and all together, right? Okay. So I'll try to show you all the Jenkins, how Jenkins will be and all together. So did anyone know? I think who are already done the training, right? Jenkins, you know, right? Okay.
Sir, till now you have told like regarding Git, right, sir? Till this
Can you
part,
be little louder?
sir, till
Sorry.
this Git part, hello, are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Till this Git part, the developers only will do the do all the job, right, sir?
No, I think developers, like let us assume the developers will take a 60% of Git actually. But as a DevOps engineer, we should basically know what is the Git, how to push a major, not major, but at least a few commands you should know. Okay.
So they will push the code into the GitHub. Till that part,
Hmm.
developers will do, right?
Yeah, I think I'll tell you the two different stories. Okay. So this is
Okay.
okay. Okay. So we have a query from online. Okay. What is the Git? How much of who usually uses this Git actually? So your question was that development will be mostly using this Git. Okay. But actually, even development, DevOps engineer will also using the Git because DevOps engineer will write the code, right? Like example, if you write an Ansible script, okay, if you write an Ansible scripts and all together, how do you commit this code? You should know, right? So you want to do the continuous changes in the Ansible code or Git CI/CD pipeline script. So usually what you do, right? You do the changes and you have to commit that, right? Because of that also we have it. You got it right? What is the question? How do you do? Git, you should require, yeah.
So the Ansible part we need Git, right? For
Yeah,
developers.
not only Ansible, I'll try to show you all the things, okay? From this
Okay.
now, I'll try to show you Jenkins, you'll try to get, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm trying to start Jenkins so that you can start seeing the service, okay? Usually Jenkins UI will be looking like this, okay? Sorry? System scheduler, sir, it is both the same. Actually, okay, I'll tell you what is system and service. If one second. Okay, systems is really if you written our own script, okay. Example, Jenkins is not an OS level script. Okay, system, right? Services, right? Service is a OS component. Example, you have FTP server. You know FTP, right? File transfer protocol. FTP, SSH, right? SSH, okay? SSH or else NTP, network time protocol. Okay. For this OS related, you will use to use system. Okay. And if it is a third party services, so if you written your own service, example Jenkins, Docker, okay, these are all the third party services and it doesn't have any system related components. So for that you will write a system script. Okay, I'll try to show you an example. Okay, so okay, okay, I will make it simple. Okay, access. Okay, so I want to write some Nexus service. Okay. So what I'll do, right? I'll copy this file. I'll create this file. I'll make this file into this. Okay. And I'll create as a service. But I cannot run as a service. Okay. Systemctl, you have to mention start Nexus. If it is a OS component related, we'll always run as a root user. Usually we'll have to run as a system. Okay. Okay. Moving back to this. Okay, Jenkins. So in this working session, I will try to show you the overview, but the detailed installation and all together, we'll have a real-time one more session. Okay. Yeah, in this Jenkins, we have a number of multiple jobs. Okay. So this is pipeline script. Okay. So we will have a different stages here. Okay. So this is what the stages we called. This is called end-to-end. Okay. Moving back to this, we'll have a number of stages. One is full from SCM, so that is what Git actually, and building, right? I'll draw a sketch actually. Maybe you'll get a clear idea. Okay, let me put in the notepad. It will be simple. Okay. So okay. So then coming back to CI/CD, right? Now we have CI/CD. CI, you know, right? Continuous integration, and CD we call as a continuous deployment. Okay. Along with that, we have CM as well, continuous monitoring. Okay. This together we called as a entire process of end-to-end pipeline. So we called as E2E. Okay. E2E. I'll try to show you some slides as well, but it doesn't matter. I want to more theoretical. Okay. In CI, we have multiple options called. First one will be checking out the code from the source code management. Okay. And then build it. Okay. For that, building the code. Okay. We have some build tools. Okay. We have as Maven. Maven is a more valuable tool. Okay. Previously we use Ant. Another one is a Gradle. Okay. For building that tool. Okay. Once we have that, we have source code analyzer. Okay. That means, example, if you commit some code changes or the codes are up to standards or codes had some vulnerabilities or loops, for that we use a Sonar Cube. What Sonar Cube will do, right? It will read your code, identify the bugs. Okay. Just give me a second. Okay. It identifies bugs and also it will show you the loopholes of your code actually. If someone of the hackers can enter into a system and all together, we call as a vulnerabilities. Okay. And also it will justify your code standards. Okay. And we will have one more tool called Fortify. Fortify will also scan your code and see whether any what we can say non-standard codes or any downloaded code or any reusability is not there or something, it will be justifying here. Okay. So in all CI, we will have this. Coming to CD, we have a deployment. For doing deployment, we'll use this tools actually, deployment tools. It can be Ansible. Okay. based on mostly 90% of organizations will use Ansible, but very few organizations will use Chef actually. Okay, and few organizations depends upon the organization, but Puppet also. Okay, and then followed by testing. Okay, QA. QA will be taking over from here. Okay, QA team, right, will have their own testing. Okay, they call it as a smoke test. Okay, followed by regression. I'll tell you what is progression and regression and all together, and then followed by security scans and performance. You got it right? What I'm trying to say. So, and then we'll have the continuous monitoring. For continuous monitoring, we'll have a monitoring tools. So we have Nagios, so open source one, and then followed by Neuralink, Datadog, and so on. Okay, it depends upon this. Okay, our site 24/7 is now also is a good one. Okay, so let me stop here. If you have any queries, let me know. So what you're trying to, do you have any questions on this? Okay. In the Jenkins, let me create a sample job and see how we can go on. Okay. If you have no queries, I'll move on. Okay. So what from this example, right? What I'll try to do, right? I'll create some freestyle job. Okay. We'll integrate with one source code management. So that is what Git. Okay. And then using build tools, I'll build the code. Okay. From the build tool, I'll use a Maven. Okay. So okay, coming back to this, right? Jenkins will have a number of job types. Okay. So first one will be the freestyle. So whatever you want to define, you can define. Whatever plugin you want to use, you can use. Other will be the Maven project. Maven project is specifically used to use for Maven things. Okay. And then followed by the pipeline. This is what we can do for CI/CD entire pipeline. And then we have multiple configuration projects. This where we use this for specific build types and all together. Like if you have a multiple environments, UAT, SIT, okay, Git, maybe once you into an organization or once you into some real-time projects, you'll get Okay, so usually the organizations will have two types of environments. Technically, we called as one as a non-prod. You know what is prod and all together, right? Okay. So we called as a non-prod. It is a lower environment. Okay. Lower ENV. Okay. Other is the prod, which is live and serving the customers. Okay. Serving the customers. Okay. At any point of time, we should not take any risk or anything in the production. So always all the testing. Okay. All the testing should be happen only in the non-prod environment. Okay. For that, we have a multiple environments. We call DIT. Okay. Development. Okay. I'll tell you all the names. Okay. Okay. SIT, and we called as a QA. I'll tell you. Okay. So DIT is a development integration testing. SIT is a system integration testing. Okay. And the QA will be used to do the performance and other testing. Okay. Whenever, so we'll have the development boxes. Okay. What developers usually will do, right? Developers will download the code, okay, into the development box and start their local builds. Okay. Once the local build is success, and they will start testing all the things in the DIT. Developers will start developers. Okay. So not testing team. Developers will start testing here. So, and they will certify the things, whatever the features or whatever their code is working or not here. Okay, code is working or not, they will certify it. Okay, and then it will promote it to SIT. In system integrating testing, example, you have to connect. So I have written some code where it need to connect some external system and need to get the data. So DIT will not have the chances because DIT is only limited to developer. Okay, SIT is something it will connect to an external systems and not only external, internal to other systems, and then it will be tested here. Okay, so QA teams will executing. Okay, testing teams. What I can say is testing teams. Testing teams will certify here. Will certify here. Okay, and they will confirm whether it is working. If it is working, then it will promote it to QA environment. Okay, in QA environment, both progression. So I'll tell you what is progression regression, right? Progression is something they will. One second. Okay, progression is something they will test entire system. Okay, with example, okay, they will test the entire system and they'll make sure is nothing break in this. Okay, and they will do regression. Regression is something specifically example any new feature is added to a system. Okay, with this new feature added, existing system is being corrupted or existing system is working as expected. Okay, progression is usually they will do their own testing. Other new feature came in or doesn't came in, they doesn't bother. They will do all the basic operation. Regression is specifically testing into the new code changes or new features coming in that. With this new features, existing code is breaking or not. If this both are certified, then it will do a performance testing. I told you already, right? So this is what, okay. Progression, regression, and performance. With the new feature added or new code added, any changes in the performance or any page loading is slow or any response time is slow, all these things will be tested here. And then we'll have promoted to production. For production, we'll have usually, so we call it as a sprint. Okay. So let example, July, right? We based on the many very big organizations. So all organizations will have a 2 sprints per month. Okay, 2 sprints per month. Okay, so let example. So from July 1st to 15th will be the first sprint, and 15 to remaining days will be the second sprint. Okay. In the first from July, right? What we do, right? Users or developers will get the list of features to be added from the customers. Okay, and then they'll write down into Jira, and they will cut down into the start stories, and they will start they will start coding the changes, and they commit the things into Git. Okay, once we have the Git changes committed, then what we do, right? We will start executing the CI/CD scripts. Okay, so I'll tell you all these things. Okay, once you have committed the changes into GitHub, right? So we call a webhook. Okay, webhook is whenever any person in the code, sorry, any developer has committed the changes, so webhook will identify the excuse me. Okay, webhook will identify the changes, and it will trigger the Jenkins job. Okay, it will trigger the Jenkins job. So it will trigger the Jenkins job CI/CD. Okay. So once it started triggering the Jenkins CI/CD script, so all the operations will start by step. Okay. I'll try to show you one basic example. Then if you can ask me, if you have any questions, I can move on. Okay. Okay. I'll just make you some example for workshop today. So I just trying to create a free workshop as a freestyle job. Okay. Freestyle project. So once I created the project, sorry, Jenkins job. So you will have this thing, okay? So today's workshop, just I'm making a description to identify what is what we created. Okay, for today's workshop, so a freestyle job. Okay, so in the source code management, I told you, right? So we have a Git here, okay? Let's put Git here. So the URL, you can take it from here, okay? So just copy it here. So to download any Git, right? Just we need to have the credentials, right? Just create the credentials, okay? Click on add Jenkins, okay? Create here, okay? My username is, okay? My username is this. My password, I told you, right? There's a, this token will help you to download the code, okay? This token, workshop, Git token, sorry. Okay, I just added this. Yes, I'll send this, okay? From the master branch, it will download the code, okay? And I'll just add an executable shell command. And I'll do this maven clean build, okay? Okay, this is my job for today and the freestyle job, okay? We have a build options here. So once we create the job, right, you just build now. So it is trying to fail with particular reason. Okay, so maven was not installed in this box, okay? So that's what, okay. So maven is already installed, but it is lagging with source, okay? I'll explain now what is the step by step it is happening. Any queries also stop me there. I'll try to show you. Okay. Okay. The first step is thing, right? It started downloading the Git repo what I gave it with the credentials, right? And it downloaded it into a local, and then it started executing the Maven. Okay. So
Hello.
and it is downloaded in all the programs, and it is starting the test. And once build is successful, we'll have this jar file has been created. Any queries in it? It's more on to a development because but what we want to know, right? What is the source code and what is the command to build? We have to know it. Okay, that's what I just not go in deep here. Yeah. No, GitHub. Jenkins will not have any no. Hmm. No, that repository is only I gave it. Credentials only I gave it. That's what, right? I saved the token here and I gave that GitHub credentials to download that, because if I didn't give the GitHub credentials, then how it know that how to download that? Public, it will be open and free if it doesn't require. But no organizations, right, will not give you a public repos. Okay. because if your source code is exposed to outside, so there's no use of sharing your code, right? So no organizations will have the public repos. So only for free demos we'll create some public repos and all together, but no organizations will. Every Git will have to provide their own credentials, because if someone can download their own source code, the code, all the source code will be the main matter for the organizations. Okay, entire things, whatever developers they have put their head in things in the source code only. So source code should be never exposed to anyone outside the organization, and this will be also the compliance, and there's also violation of the thing. Okay, it leads to termination of your organization. So basic things, right? Okay, moving back from Jenkins to a general word. Thing, when you're into an organization, so even you doesn't work doesn't matter, okay? But organizations will have certain principles and certain complaints and certain things, okay? So you should obey this and you should strictly follow this. Example, okay? Not sharing passwords to anyone, not displaying public passwords, do not share passwords or confidential data in email, okay? Okay, and do not log in with other credentials. This is very critical. Okay, maybe very few people will get warning, but most of the people will get terminated. Okay, so very few, right? So companies, right, major like bigger organizations, like I'm just saying some okay service based or product based organizations will always stand with their certain principles. Okay, if you are not performing also doesn't matter, but organizations doesn't want to lose their CMM levels. How many know CMM? Okay, every organizations have their own levels. Okay, but mostly Google and bigger organizations, JP Morgan, Verizon, Amazon, all CMM 5 levels. Okay, this compliance and principles will define the company standards. Because if you want to certainly obey all these things, definitely if you are part of organization. Okay, so sharing the credentials, that too with manager approvals, we have certain, okay, every principal will have some loophole or else some exception. Okay, okay, it's that exception you can allow for one or twice, but not more than 2 warnings. Okay, so you should always follow this. Okay, and while doing the source code or while you committing the source code into local, if you're no more, or if you're moving to a different project or different organization, you have certainly delete that, and you should not save your passwords are altogether into open text. So you can create into an so we will have a strong box. Okay, in my organizations we call it a strong box. The strong box where we, excuse me, we'll save all your passwords in case, because we don't remember all the passwords, right? So you can save your passwords into strong box. Okay.
Hello.
From this we have any query? Sorry.
Hello, Nagarjuna. My name is Surya Prakash.
Yeah, tell me.
Do we need to write any test cases from our end?
No. It depends on actually what is your part of role. You decide it actually. Mostly DevOps engineers will not write any code or any test cases, but it depends upon the things. Okay, what usually DevOps engineer do, right? Let example, I'll make you a simple, but out of this topic, I'll tell you. Okay, as you into an organization as a DevOps engineer, okay, as a DevOps engineer, you into get into a project, you already have a development team, operations team, and also with testing team. Okay, you are into it, we will have 2 different teams. As DevOps engineer, we have to coordinate both development, testing, and operations team, and you have to write all these automation scripts and make them existing. Let example, right? So operations will have how to start and stop the application. They already have their own scripts. Okay, development team have the build jobs or how to build all the things. You have to coordinate with the development team, take the build jobs. You have to work with operations teams and take the deployment scripts. And you have to coordinate with the testing teams, and you have to take all the test cases, and you have to make it all into a single pipeline, and you have to start executing that. And the pipeline need to be integrated with the webhook, so that whenever a developer or any things, right, they started committing the code, automatically the pipelines will trigger. Okay, so try to move off into a central one standard pipeline script so that you can see. So you got it right. So usually you will not write any test cases, or you will not write any code. The code you written, that will be in automation schools actually. So like writing of the pipeline script, okay, and writing your Ansible scripts, or else writing any deployments, which depends upon your source of task is assigned to you. Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Coming back to here, if you are able to see the
Do we
screen,
need to
or not
install
able to.
any testing tool and that needs to be integrated with Jenkins?
Testing tool, I didn't get you. What is meant by testing tool? Okay, yeah. That will be the done. Yeah, that definitely not a DevOps task. It is a query here. We need to install any testing tool and we need to integrate it. Definitely yes or no. I'll tell you the two answers, okay? Because if your organization is new and it doesn't have any testing tool, definitely you need to work on an installation and you have to integrate that. But if you already, your organization already have that tool, so that you just need to integrate that. Okay, you got me answer, right?
Okay. Yeah, okay. In
Okay,
general,
yes.
actually,
Yeah,
how
in
many
general
types
solution
of
will
test
be the
cases are
common
there?
one. Sorry, can you repeat?
In general, how many types of test cases are there?
It depends upon the project, right? And it doesn't mean bigger projects will have a more test cases, and also the test cases will be most common for all the. Right? So if you have any multiple projects, the test cases will be common for most of the projects. Like example, login will be one test case, right? And once you logged in, validating the menu will be one test case. This will be a common test cases based on the specific application posting the order, or okay, retrieving the order. That depends upon the application you use. Okay, it
I
depends
mean,
upon, like,
someone will
usually
call it as,
yeah.
someone will call it as unit test cases. Someone will call it as JUnit test cases. Someone will call it as smoke test. What are these different test cases?
No, different test cases, right? And JUnit test cases will identify what are the reports, or what are the things we have it. Okay, like example, how many codes of line you have, how to reuse the codes. It will give you all the figures. Okay, I'll try to show you some examples there. Okay, in moving forward.
Okay.
I'm moving this to right. Okay, if you want to write any pipeline script, yeah, yeah. Tell me. No, sorry. Okay, so this is a sample Python script. I'll try to show you one more how to create all this thing. So you just create this in a new item, select the pipeline. Okay, okay, select the pipeline and create it. So once you create that, it will ask you into this. Okay, pipeline script. So pipeline script starts with the syntax pipeline. Okay, and curly braces starts. If you have any agent, what is meant by agent and altogether, I'll tell you later. Agent can be any agent, can be any something is if you want to execute the pipeline into some external boxes. Okay, example, now what I'm doing is whatever I'm executing in the same Jenkins box, wherever the Jenkins I installed, I'm doing the same thing. But usually in real-time operations, we will not do that. Okay, what we do, right? We'll create, example, I told you, right? Each developer will have their own development box. So we'll create the development box as an agent. Okay, and then we'll mention this label here. Okay, agent equal to, okay, we'll mention here. Okay, label, sorry, label dev box. So I'll tell you what is that. Okay, in the moving forward. So I, like the example, assume this is what. Okay, agent label dev box, and the first stage is the pull from the SCM. Okay, so previously what I created, right? The token is something for today I created, right? Workshop, yeah, workshop git to token, right? Just I'll mention it so that it can download here. Sorry. Okay, yeah. So Maven build, right? So Maven build, what I do, right? I gave this Maven source and all together, and this once the Maven build was success, I just integrating with the JUnit. Okay, and later points Checkstyle. Checkstyle is a plugin. Okay, where it will help you to do your code is up to standards or not. Okay, once Checkstyle has done, it will publish a report. Okay, it will publish the report into the result.xml and code coverage JACOS, right? It's a common plugin. Maybe you're not aware. Most of the development teams will have, but just view it. Okay, it doesn't matter. You should know everything. Okay, but this will be the common steps. Okay. Sonar, right? I told you, right? Sonar Cube is one of the code standard tools where it helps you to identify what is what. Okay. So what I'm doing, right? I'm giving the Sonar. Okay. And next one is the Nexus. Okay. Maybe after Nexus I'll move into Nexus. Nexus is a uploading or we call it an artifact. Okay. Example, you will have your own build. Okay. Some jar or war file. Once you have done that, you have to save into some centralized repo. Okay, our source code repo will be Git. Okay, in the similar way, we have the binary code repos, artifact repository. So JFrog is most widely used. Okay, for Nexus is something like a middle scale companies will be used. Nexus, JFrog, and what we have, Docker Hub is for Docker. Okay, Docker repositories. And we have unlimited, but mostly middle scale organizations will use Nexus, and major organizations will use the JFrog artifact. Okay, so this is what. Okay, so once you have the source code, how to upload into a Nexus. Okay, for that Nexus, okay, just I'll try to bring up the other one. 1 second. So I install the Nexus in the other server. So just run up the server and we'll do one build. Okay. JFrog also I have done that. JFrog also will do one thing. Okay. Okay. This is the Nexus artifact, right? Okay. So these are the reports that we have it. Okay. So let me get one more report. Just to make sure to understand what is happening. Okay. Okay. Today we're creating a workshop depot. So demo, and we are enabling the allow redeploy. And just we created some repo. So we have this repo, right? Okay. To make sure that there's nothing. Okay. There's nothing there in this repo. So what I'll do, right? I'll just upload this thing into our repo. Okay. This is what the repository name we have to specify here. Okay. So I'm just building now. So I'll walk through all one by one. Okay, the stages wise. Okay. Just run the some pipeline script. Okay. So it will go by stages. Okay. What is that? Okay. 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 I just added few changes, right? So okay, just give me. I don't have any label called Devops, so that's what. For example, I show you previously. Okay. So okay, agent will be any agent now as of now. Okay, started stage by stage. Okay, so I'll overview here as well. Okay, now you can see, right? So okay, pull from SCM, it took 770 seconds, and then Maven code build was done. Okay, and then it went to a check style, and then it reported a code coverage and Sonar. As of now, we don't have Sonar, so it maybe mostly it will have a fail here. For Sonar, let comment for now. Let's see what is happening here. Okay, it failed at Sonar because Sonar is not available right now. So I'll start the Sonar. Or trying to catch me, or looks at something odd. So this topic will cover the Docker as well. But just a little view of Docker, but in detail we'll have a more. Okay. So if you want to see what is there in the Docker, right? You know, anyone done Docker? Anyone knows Docker? So how do you see the images in the Docker? Okay. Okay, so these are the images where I pulled it. Okay, so what are the images I have is so this is what we have it. Okay, so let's do the history and remove the Docker rm hyphen sonar. Okay. Okay. Just I'm executing the sonar so that okay. This is the sonar. Okay. Sorry. For sonar it is written. Yeah. Okay. I'm running the build actually. You can see one by step now. So it started checking from SCM is done, and then followed by Maven build. Okay. Once Maven build is done, then it is doing the check style. Okay. And then after it will do the sonar. Now the sonar has been started executing. Okay, sonar has been loaded, and it have publishing all the test code here. I'll try to show you what is there also. And then it followed by Nessus uploading. Okay. Now it started uploading to Nessus. Okay. So going back to here, I'm just browsing here so that you can see this. Okay. Previously we don't have any repository there, right? Now you can see, right? So the WebSocket demo jar has been pushed to Nessus. With this, you entirely cover all the CI. Okay. This is entirely things are done. Okay. SCM, build tools with Maven, okay, Sonar Cube integration, and then uploading to Nessus, okay. Nessus or JFrog, okay, it doesn't matter. Usually, Nessus will have 9,000 port, sorry, 8,081. JFrog artifact will also use the 8,081 or 82, okay, /82. Okay, more or less it will be same, okay. So, if you have any queries, let me know. Yeah. Yeah, deployment will be the part of CD. I'll try to show you all of it. So with this, this is only the CI part. Okay. If you go to add one more stage, okay, I'll try to show you here. So you are able to catch here, right? Pipelines deployed. Okay. The only thing in additional to this, right? This is what we have. So once we have in the artifact, so you will get download this thing. Okay, I'll try to show you this as well. So till you see, right? Agent any, okay, stages pull from SCM. You're able to see clear, right? Okay, now Maven build, and once Maven build was able to done, and it archived it into a local mission, and then check style. In check style report code coverage with jar codes, and check style will do you like how coding standards you are. Example, instead of without doing any comments, okay, without having any syntax or not using in a standard formats, like you have defined variable multiple times, so you can define in one time. Okay, in that all check style will align you into a standard way. Okay, and sonar will okay. I'll try to show you the sonar, how the sonar, right? So sonar scan will be publishing here. Okay, this is what we have. Okay, once you have done this code, right? Today, let's see for today what has happened. Okay. We go to projects. Okay, last analysis happened 3 minutes ago. Just now we have done this Sonar, right? So this is what the project we have, and it made you pass. Okay, out of this bugs we don't have any bugs. Vulnerabilities also we don't have. Hotspots we don't have, but some. Okay, so bug, right? So what is AAR, right? I'll tell you. Okay, so each part of this code will be divided into subdivisions, and each will be rated into, okay, into grades. A is a good grade where it doesn't have any code spellings, okay, and hotspots vulnerability is also not there, but we have one bug here, so that's what they credited into C. Okay, out of ABC, so they credit as a C. Out of that, an average they gave a pass, but they have some bugs, so we have to rectify that bugs. The Sonar will give you a detailed analysis. Okay, if you go to in detail, right, so you will have different conditions here. Overall code, right, we have 2 bugs out of that. There's no security issues. Out of total 34 minutes it was been there, and there's a check 6 codes check bells. Okay, 1 unit test case is available. On average, this is what it will do, a detailed analysis, and also it will give you measurements as well. This is what you do. Okay, your project, how reliable is that, how secure is that, the security review, okay, and the maintenance, okay, maintainability, how long it will be in maintainability, the code coverage, okay, how many codes we have it, how many code we have coverage, all these things. Okay, you'll go on understanding once you into this. Yeah, actually this is all automated. Usually what we do, right, I didn't get you. Can you repeat it? No, developer will not do all these things. Okay? Developer will usually do the changes, commit the changes, and whether it successfully build, ran or not, he will do it. Okay? After checking, usually our roles is just to design all this pipeline and make sure entire pipeline has been success or not. Okay? In case of any challenges, usually this Sonar Cube and all together, if you have more vulnerabilities and all together, so we'll have the quality gates. That's what. Okay, I'll come back here. So if Sonar has not passed, right, we'll stop the pipeline here. We'll break the pipeline. I will not upload the spawn to Nessus. You got me right? So this is only the just example to show you. But in before, right, we'll have a quality gate after Sonar scan. What quality gate will write? Instead of quality gates, we have more than 3 bugs. So what Sonar will do, right? Sonar will fail the case. Example, Sonar will give you the result overall as failed here. Okay, that is the. Okay. It will show you as a failed. Okay. Once you get the Sonar failed, the pipeline will not move further. It will show up here, and it will send a mails to development team. Sonar has failed because of this multiple bug issues and all together. So they have to re-code the things, and they have to identify what is the bugs, and they have to again commit the code. Okay. We'll have the quality gates. That's what usually, right? End-to-end automations we have it. Okay. So here we will have a stage called quality gate. What quality gate identifies, right? Whether it need to move further or break it. In this stage, we will write that steps, right? So this will be into, if you physically take one project, you will understand all these things. Okay. As a demo, right? I doesn't want to more confuse people because most of the people will not be coming from the training, right? So I don't want to confuse them. So this quality gate will align that. So whether Sonar test case is, we call it the test case only, is failed, right? That means, okay. So we'll do exit. Okay. So we'll do exit. That means we'll break out from the pipeline and will not upload the code to Nessus. Unnecessarily, we don't want the bug code to upload Nessus, right? It unnecessarily time waste and also the space waste for us. Okay. So we'll have the quality gate here. So once we let's assume that it was Sonar was passed now, and we have uploaded to Sonar. Sorry, we uploaded to Nessus, right? And now the stage will be, the other stage will call the deployment stage. Okay, this is what the deployment example. Deployment using Ansible. Okay. So I'll make some small syntax in that. Okay. Mhm. Okay. So coming back here, right? Using Ansible, using deployment, right? So you can just write this one more stage. Okay. Okay. Ansible playbook -i host. Does anyone have Ansible idea? Okay. So what is host? You know, right? Inventories. Okay. In this host file, you will have the inventories where which host you have to connect and all together. And this is the where the deployment YAML where you will mention what to deploy and all together. Okay. And then this extra variables will identify what user you have to log into a remote host. And example, this is what I use an Ansible username and password as Ansible. You can either mask it here and you can pass from the git variables. Okay. And you want to be a sudo user so that you have to execute some functions. Okay. This is what we have. So any doubts here? From this entire we will call it as a CD. Coming back to here. So we have done with this, okay, Ansible. And other QA jobs, right? QA jobs, it depends upon the QA teams, okay? They will give the smoke test, progression, regression, either whatever performance. You will just integrate, okay? The entire CI/CD will be like this, okay? You will have one more stages, okay? A few more stages as well. So let's assume that we'll have one more stage called deploy, okay? So you'll have one more stage called this one, okay? Sorry, where is that? Okay, this is called one more stage deploy using Ansible. So you will have that DIT environment. Okay. So based on this pass condition, so I'll tell you, I'll just give you a simple thing. Okay. So this will be SIT, again SIT. In between, you will have the jobs for testing. Okay. So you will have stage by stages. Okay. Example, testing for DIT. And you will have one more quality gate here. Are you guys getting me? So every quality gate will decide whether it need to move further or break there. It will be like a break condition in a switch. Do you know any ring? You know CPP, right? Switch condition will be there, right? So either it will break and it will move further. Quality gate 2, okay? So if test case failed, so abort it or else move further. It will follow the same hierarchy. Some, right? I told, right? So dev, did sit QA, and then it will hang for production. Okay, it will move. It will not move for production. You will have this pipeline will be production. For that, you will get an. You will have one more stage called approval. Okay, so when the manager, it will trigger a mail to manager saying that you want to deploy the production or something like that. But very big organizations will have that. But most of the organizations will maintain the separate pipelines. Pipeline till non-prod and pipeline till production, because they want to not do any manual mistake in the production. So right, but higher organizations, right? In my organizations we use this. Okay, what do you do, right? So we'll have entire thing, and once it came to production, we'll have a validation tag. Okay, usually it will trigger a mail to manager saying that we have to move the production code now. Just send a approve or not. So you have to reply yes or no. In the email, if you replied yes, automatically it will identify the message what he triggered. Okay, what he replied in the mail, and it will move further and it will deploy into production. Okay. So any queries? I think I'll stop here for today's session. Maybe we'll give you a couple of minutes where we can have a queries there. From this, I think we mostly covered Git, Jenkins, and entire CI/CD pipeline. But Ansible will have one more session tomorrow. Tomorrow, what we can cover, right? Or if you have any specific requirement, also please come up with that. So I have all the things. If you have any specific requirement, let me know so that I can install the tools beyond the day. Today I'll try to install the things. So what is my plan? I'll tell you. So I have an Ansible installed. I'll try to show you some Ansible playbooks. Okay. JFrog Artifactory also I'll try to show you. And JFrog, I think I didn't show you. No, I think it will take some time to install. I'll try to show you in a later point. Docker, I'll try to show you Docker, how to pull the push image Docker, how to build the Docker image. Using Docker Compose, how can you push it, build and push automate, right, into Docker Hub. And then using Minikube, you know, right, Kubernetes. In Kubernetes, how to deploy the whatever Dockerized image. And list the pod, and using hem also I'll try to show you something. Okay, so tomorrow sessions we mostly will cover starting with Ansible, Docker, and Kubernetes. With that, mostly as a real time, I think once you get in also, usually the task will be depends on this. Okay, either out of these major tools or maybe any specific requirement for you also, let me know. I'll try to show up. Okay. Task, right? Okay. Let me brief in generic and also my organization. In generic, right, very few companies were into initial stage of DevOps. Okay, like Jenkins, basic has been installed altogether. You can elaborate it a more way, like you have a number of tools. Okay, so Jenkins has a managed plugins and all together. Using plugins and all together, you can install your own plugins or you can write your own code. Okay, so if you go to manage, I think not. I'm as an admin, so I can see all these things. But as a user, you will not see all these things. But if you have any specific requirements, and you think that plugin is available for Jenkins, you can mail to an admin and say that please download this and attach to Jenkins so that they will install the plugin for you, or else you have to write your own code actually. So mostly in generic, right, you will have, we all have a deployment scripts, but that is not automated. They will ask us to automate into an Ansible. So Ansible scripts, right, you have to write more complex Ansible scripts. So downloading the code from Artifactory, and moving into a particular folder structure. And if it is a middleware components like either WebLogic, JBoss, every organization will have a higher middleware. Okay, WebSphere, Apache. Okay, so depends upon their organization middleware. You have to move either var or jar into a particular folder and just back up the existing one. Okay, and deploy it and start the thing. Okay, once you start that, automatically Ansible has the capability for getting a basic validation, like whether URL is up or not. You can use that tools like WA get, curl, some other tools is there in the Linux. So that you can get whether the response is 200 okay or not. If it is not 200 okay, that means the server has been not started properly, or there is issue with the code. So roll out the deployment. Roll out the deployment means so you have to go back. Whatever the latest software you have installed, you have to again rename into backup and put you already put the backup for the existing, which was the previous deployment, right? You have to put it back again and you have to bring back the server. Usually the deployments, okay, in generic deployments. And coming back to Dockerization, you have to build and deploy the Docker and build and the Docker and push it into JFrag Artifactory, and again the deployment into a Kubernetes. But whatever I show you is a basic Kubernetes, but in real time we will not use that Kubernetes basic. Using Helm charts, you know Helm, right? Helm, HCLM. In Kubernetes, it's a framework for deployment, all the things. kubectl, get pods, and all together. This is a basic view just to understand what is what. But in real time, you use a Helm actually. Helm is a Google framework for deploying rapid applications into a very simple way. Okay. So Dockerization is very complex topic. Okay, because Docker you have to get the basic Docker image, and then you have to add your local code into Docker, and you have to build the Docker. And again, the build Docker, you have to store it into Docker Hub or JFrag or whatever it is. Once you have it, you have to add some tags to Docker, right? So that it will only identify whether it's the latest tag, so like a Docker latest tag and all together into Docker Hub. Once you have a Docker Hub, once the image is available in Docker Hub, you have to write your own Kubernetes deploy templates, right? So Helm will automate all these things. Helm, what it will have, right? You will have a deployment templates and all together. So one Kubernetes deployment, whatever I show you is basic. But the Kubernetes real time, we will have a 5 parts in the Kubernetes. One is HPSA. Okay, HPSA is a horizontal protocol scaling algorithm. Another is a service. Other was ingress, deployment, and then what we have is the fifth one I didn't remember, but we have a 5 tags. Okay, if you want to deploy one Kubernetes, you have to write 5 YAML files, or else what you, to return to don't write 5 YAML, right? We have the templates that we'll use Helm actually. You just need to pass the variables. What variables? Example like auto scaling, right? So minimum 1, maximum 5. Okay, based on the load. What is the condition, right? If you have a CPU utilization, so if you have a more CPU utilization, more than 60% of utilization, auto scale them into 5. Okay, and service. Okay, service. What is the endpoint to connect the Kubernetes? So once you deploy the Kubernetes, example, you will get a Kubernetes IP. What is the endpoint you have to connect? Example, you could just write a web demo. Example, this is a service that will be defined here. In the deployment, in deployment YAML file, you will define where the image you need to get. Docker Hub, example, slash what is your project name, slash web demos hyphen latest. You have to enter the tags. In the ingress, you have to identify the DNS name. Example, careerit.com slash something, DNS name to identify, right? Where to open openly. And all other things will be in the factor. Okay, the Helm will really help you to make it into simple way. Just I'll try to show you one example, a little example, because Helm required a lot of installation and all together. As it is a real time, mostly you will be using Helm only. Depends on organization. My organizations have GitHub. Okay, so what I'm trying to show you is open source, right? But Git is a common. So example, I'll tell you. Okay, Git is open source. Okay, Git. What do you mean by Git, right? Git is open source, but it will have a multiple vendors. Like a lot of example, right? Linux, right? Linux is open source. But what Red Hat is do? Red Hat will provide a service to Linux. So like that, Git is a open source tool like GitHub, GitLab, some other vendors, whatever. But ultimately, protocol and the commands will be same. Okay, Git will be common for every organization. Okay, and Jenkins is quite common. No other tool beats Jenkins. Okay, there's no other tool even now in the market also. You never get into it. Okay, Ansible is the most viable deployment tool, but we have alternate Chef and Puppet. But disadvantages I'll tell you. Chef and Puppet will always work with the root user. Okay, so what is the advantage? I told you, right? While you are in root, you should be more careful. So Ansible has an advantage; it can degrow to a lower user as well. So widely and also marketable also. What we want, right? If you want to, example, if you want to recruit some resource and easily work on, instead of Chef, I'll always choose Ansible, because market-wise also people will be trained in Ansible only. So coming back to that Ansible, right? And Kubernetes. Okay, but Kubernetes, what I'm saying is basic, right? But depends on the organization. My organization uses EKS. Okay, Elastic Kubernetes Service by Amazon. Okay, some other organization will use AKS, Azure Kubernetes Service. Someone will use a GKS, Google. Okay, it depends upon. But ultimately, so what I'm saying, right? This is the services provided by some vendors, but ultimately the protocol and commands will always remain same. kubectl get pods will be same for EKS, AKS, GKS. Okay, it doesn't matter. But ultimately, you have to learn the concept. Okay, and Maven will be, there's no other tool beat Maven. So if you are using Node.js or AngularJS, Gradle will be there. The little old ant is there, Apache ant will be there. Hmm. Tools means I didn't get you. That's what. So my requirement is to. No, you'll work on actually. So let example, you got a task to write some Ansible deployment. Okay, how you write the Ansible script? You'll write some Ansible script in some YAML files. Okay, where do you store that YAML? Git. So you are always using Git. Okay. So you will write some script and you will put it. Sorry. So to execute Ansible, you will use the Ansible plugin in Jenkins. So Jenkins, you already used it. Okay. This is one way. Okay. Just but whatever Ansible or whatever code, you have to integrate in the pipeline, right? Ultimately, you have to integrate the deployment script in the pipeline. In the pipeline, you'll have the Sonar or something where it failed at Sonar. Example, it failed at Sonar. You go back and see why it is failing in Sonar altogether. You should have little idea, but not in depth what Sonar does. It doesn't matter to you. But if you learn it, so you can easily troubleshoot the things. Always, you should not go back to a developer team or operation team as you are an individual contributor. DevOps engineer is an individual contributor. You coordinate with different teams, but you should have your unique identity. What I'm trying to say, right? So for each silly and simple thing, you should not go to another development or existing operation team or QA team. So by learning all these things, you will be an individual so that you can directly go back to development and saying that, hi boss, your code has failed because of some vulnerability. Just fix it and make sure get me a error bug-free code so that I can execute my pipeline. Okay. And one more thing, that GitHub integration, right? GitHub, sorry, webhook. So that integration has to be done by you only. So you have to go to GitHub or GitLab, whatever organization you use, go to and integrate the webhook so that you will say that you'll have conditions. Okay. Whenever user committed into master branch, only you have to trigger the Jenkins job. Whenever the user, example, user has committed, but it need to be approved by manager. Like that, you have to write the conditions in the webhook. Based on that, you will go on things. Okay, but ultimately depends on the project. You will actually requirements. Okay, so maybe initially you'll have a basic requirement for the initial. Once you join the project, you'll have basic deployment for Ansible. But Ansible is something a little for on-prem or else from simple projects. But we are moving on. I think Kubernetes microservices will be coming into picture. So Dockerizations or existing Docker images. So what I'll do, right? They'll ask us to deploy based on your requirement. So if you volunteer in Kubernetes project, you will start using the Docker and Kubernetes. If you fall into a basic DevOps project, you will be using Ansible and other existing tools.
But actually, now everyone asking about Kubernetes.
How far? I didn't get you. How far?
In every interview, you're asking that compulsory tracking that trace. How far you should
Kubernetes, I think you should learn the deployment procedures and altogether. How to use the Kubernetes. In getting an interview, right? To cracking the interview, mostly you can know what is the Kubernetes, how it deploys, how clusters and all. Okay, that will help you to know basics like what clusters and all together. But frankly speaking, very few organizations allow you to create the clusters. For the knowledge purpose, you learn all the how to create a cluster. So, let example, if you go in an existing organization, for every simple thing you cannot create a cluster. They will already will have a cluster. Either you create a namespace in a cluster. Okay. So what do you mean the cluster? One clusters will handle thousands of pods. Okay. 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 just you have to knowledge this, you have to create a cluster. But as a cracking questions, right? If you are answering more and good, then they will want to know how deep you know the Kubernetes and all together. So they will ask how to create a cluster and all together. Terraform. Okay, I forgot to inform that. Terraform also, I'll try to show you something. But Terraform, what they will ask actually? I didn't get you. What was the questions asked in the Terraform? How you integrate with the AWS or AKS? How to create a resource? Yes, right. What is the life cycle of Terraform? They will ask the basic question. Int apply, plan, and destroy all together. You know, right? Terraform. What is the life cycle of Terraform? Int apply, plan, apply, and destroy. So how to connect to a resource? So in the Terraform, how you will define the resource? How you define the variables? How you retain a complex Terraforms? So if you connecting to AWS, what is the provider you will use? What is the basic parameters you use? The Terraform, I think Terraform is unanswerable questions only, but doesn't matter. They'll ask you to write one simple Terraform template or something, and how to display an output from Terraform. That was a major question I think you'll ask. How you display once. I'll try to show all this basic thing, but if you in the Kubernetes you have to learn all the deployment procedures, how to roll back, roll out. Okay, what is the hem, right? Hem. What is the list of hem? What is the what else you will have? I'll try to get the mostly in the Kubernetes tomorrow. Yeah, yeah, interview preparation as well, but see, without interview preparations. So we want to know the okay, fine. I'll let you. Yeah. So these basic things, one is to get task. Yeah. As of now, we mostly close it today. We'll have almost task we have done it, right? Let's plan for tomorrow. Some 1 hour of task. We'll close it. Ansible and Kubernetes basic version. And from tomorrow we'll have some how you have to handle the interview. What mostly, right? So, yeah, we will go for interview questions. Real time questions as well. Like let us I do more than a couple of interviews every week actually. I know how to just what way usually people identify how the people, right? So I'll tell you that tomorrow. Right? Within few, frankly speaking, within 5 minutes, I know the guy how much experience we have. But lacking things, right? As now market required more DevOps people. Frankly speaking, if someone tell that I have more than 5 years of experience in DevOps, that he is really fake. So market in DevOps came before 5 years only. It's not with 5 years, okay? It's more or less 3 or 4 years only DevOps is in the market. Okay. And DevOps is just they identified that, but the tools are not that much familiar. Okay. I'll tell you tomorrow how to get this right. What usually Kubernetes, but Kubernetes, right? As a knowledge purpose, you have to learn everything, like for installation as well. Like I think in the DevOps, that training session they already show you all these things, right? Installation, creating cluster, creating namespace. Okay, not Fluentd. Fluentd has done. Mostly, their questions will be in the Fluentd. Fluentd, right? Integration of Kubernetes Fluentd to Splunk. You know Splunk, right? Log monitoring. Okay. Yeah. Fluentd in the Kubernetes will help you to string the logs to Splunk. So in that way only, because what is the disadvantage in Kubernetes is it will not write logs into read-only Docker. It will not write any logs into right. It will always display into standard out. You know what is standard out? No. What I'm talking is in Docker or Kubernetes, it will not write any logs into any file. It will try to write the files in the standard out. Standard out is something. If I just enter here, this is standard out. Okay. So if I put a ls-l, right, this showing some display, right? This is what the standard out. So if I want to see after this 5 minutes, I will not see this command. Okay. Because I'm not writing into any output file. So I cannot see what is happening after 5 minutes. So for that only, Fluentd is a service in the Kubernetes, will help you whatever it is printing in the standard out, it will stream it into Splunk. Splunk is a centralized dashboard where they save the logs into 160 days. 160 days to 180 days depends upon your organization. So that all the developers or operation teams will debug their logs in the Splunk only. Okay, because every user will not have access to kubectl and they could not see pods and they could not see kubectl logs and pod name altogether. Okay, I'll tell you tomorrow so that we'll plan some interview questions as well, the live, right, so that you will understand. Okay. So still any other requirements? I'll start up with Ansible for 30 or no, for 20 minutes, and will end up with Kubernetes at the end. Yeah. Any other things you require? Mostly how to handle the interviews in Kubernetes and all together, right? Dockers and all together. Okay. Example, put me one real-time scenario. I'll tell you, like, yeah, come up with the scenarios or what are the interview questions you faced it. Okay, I'll tell you how to handle the things, because probably, right, if you prepare 100 questions also, as an interviewer, I'm telling, okay, it depends upon the thing, how you handle the situation is the main important. Okay, you prepare 100 questions, the interviewer will come up with one at one. Okay, it doesn't matter, you should answer exactly, but you should convince them, you know what you are working or what you already know. Okay, but okay, we'll have some demo interview as well tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Anything else? I think we'll end up this call. Thanks, team.